Hey y'all, welcome back to Ascending with Ashley. I'm Ashley. This is a collective shadows reading. We're gonna do a little shadow work together, just see what's up. How's everybody feeling? Remember that healing and introspection and shadow work are generally always going to be things that we need to do. We don't really get to a point where we're done. If you're still alive, you're still making mistakes, you are still making other people feel certain ways with your own behavior and actions. So let's keep working on our shadows. All right. It's too many. Here we go. We're using the Yin Yang Oracle, and then we're going to do some shadow prompts, and we'll see what else comes through. I'm also listening to instrumental music, jazz, because YouTube won't let me listen to fun music anymore without copywriting my stuff. So this is just like a winter ambiance. Snowy town streets on a quiet Christmas night. Can you see it in my glasses? No. All right, here we go. Third eye clarity. Oh my gosh, we're awakening. Woohoo! So this is for a collective who's doing the work. Nice. I'm proud. We're getting clarity. We're getting clarity. What else? I'm so proud. Oh shit. So this is for folks who are starting to see. Right on. Oh my gosh. Yes, it is. It is a very isolating experience because once you see, other people still don't. And then you're crazy. I wish I would have gotten paid the amount of times I got told I was crazy. I would be wealthy. So you're starting to see through your third eye. This is a pineal gland. Scientifically and medically, it can be calcified because most of the products that we consume ensure the calcification of it. Look it up, the pineal gland. But like fluoride in toothpaste, and they put like, you know, a whole bunch of other chemicals and shit in everything that we consume. So not only are most things available to us cancer causing, but they also they muddy your ability to see. Big pharma too. All right. So ego, vanity, and pride is still something that you might be dealing with. That's okay. Ego deaths are painful. It's a lot. But as you start to awaken to like the truth, you know, you're already awakening. You're having your epiphanies. And both of these have shadow aspects to them. Both of these cards, right? It's like dark up here and light up here, dark here and light here. So you're balancing yourself out. And yeah, it is isolating. If you need any support, I work on a sliding scale. You can email me. We can email back and forth. We could do Zoom, whatever. If you need any support, I don't think you're crazy. I know you're not. Guilt and sabotage, don't do that. So that must be because of the ego. It's alright, you're still human, you know? It's a painful process. I just did a reading on guilt yesterday that came through really heavy for the collective. Guilt and grief. So go ahead and check that out if that guilt is resonating with you within this reading. Alright, what else? Control tactics. So maybe you're not quite in a space where you can be this loud and proud about the things that you're starting to understand because you're still stuck on this. That's okay. It's okay. It's a process. It's a fucking process. And it's a daunting process at that, you know? It's all good. Autumn harvest. This is what we are experiencing within the northern hemisphere. The harvest to coming into consciousness is While it's continuous work, it's also continuous awakening. Once you're awake, you can't go back to sleep. Once you see what's really happening, once you get clarity on your third eye, there's no going back. And that's the harvest, right? It's an entirely different way of living. Completely. And not only that, but like, it's also isolating because most people are not awake with their third eye. They might be awake within propaganda or cult like thinking. Oh shit. Okay. What do we have here? Trust in divine timing. You are being super protected and supported by things beyond this realm. And contracts, career commitments. So trust in divine time that you will be able to liberate yourself from whatever that is, right? Whatever is continuing to control you. Oh my god, I'm so excited for this collective. Woohoo! Fire signs, or fire as an element, air signs, or air as an element. These two feed each other, right? And then unity and transcendence. Transcendence is a process, right, as well. I think balancing air and fire, let's not look at these as individuals per se, but as elements. Air, you need air to start fire. But air can also, like the wind, can also make fire go out of control, right? So, but like the fire illustration is like a deep dive, right? It looks like water is involved here, even though it's the fire element. So yeah, you're still finding balance. It looks as though you're finding balance to not engulf yourself or your life in flames within your new knowledge, right? And that is, it happens. I myself have gone fucking crazy. So be careful. All right, let's get a couple more. Maybe that's 12 cards, but party external. Be careful with that. You don't want to run away from your newfound, the courage to change. You are finally having the courage to change. Mostly because you're having to. Not by choice, but again, it is certainly by choice. If your third eye is open. Now we're going to pull from our shadow work. Just get a couple main themes beyond this. I don't feel like this control tactics is you, the watcher. I feel like this is your environment. Because it's coming right after guilt or sabotage. So like maybe you feel guilt for starting this process and leaving people behind. I've made a lot of videos about that. It is a very isolating process because you do, like I said, once you become awake, why do you think the Republicans hate that language so much? Woke. Once you awaken to the reality of what's really going on, your part in it. People like to say those are confirmation burps. So I don't know, I guess that was a confirmation burp about waking up to the reality of systemic stuff. It's isolating. And you can't really talk to a lot of people. Again, I'm here. I'm here if you need anyone. I don't want you to end up in a mental institution. That shit's not fun. Deceit, honesty is the bridge to authentic connections. Don't deceive yourself out of this process. Is that a compass or a clock? I think that's a compass. Honesty is the best policy. Healing and consciousness does require honesty, because when you can't just call people, you know that saying, the pot calling the kettle black. You can't call people out on their shit without calling out your own, and that is the process of shadow work, right? And honesty is so important. And that's the thing, you don't need to make that a public declaration. You can journal honesty, and then you can even burn it to alleviate guilt or self-sabotaging behaviors or the need to deceive, right? Once you clear that out of yourself, you know, and burn it so there's no evidence of it, right? You never have to like get up behind a podium and tell the world your bad shit. You don't. Shadow work is for you and you only. I mean, you can if you want. Obsession, release the chains of thought and free your mind. Yeah, I mean, this is a very fine line of navigating, and it is deep, you know, and then just when you think you've reached the deepest, you know, like the Mariana Trench in the ocean, isn't it like the deepest part of the ocean? There's more. There's more. I'm not trying to discourage this at all. I'm trying to let you, just giving a disclaimer, because you have to find balance with the 3D reality while also coming into consciousness. You're still an active part of society. You know, we're still actively consuming and participating in these systems, even though we know how they work, right? Trauma, your scars are proof of your resilience and survival. There's a saying about how you've survived 100% of all the days that you've lived, right? Trauma is valid, first of all, and it feels like some of you might still be in these situations of where you received trauma and you aren't able to physically get out of those spaces, right, with this. And the people around you are noticing your changes but trying to hold you back, right? And you might have guilt because of that, right? Don't sabotage your own process. You're gonna be alright. Hey, you too. Daisy, Mer, be nice. Regret. The past cannot be changed, but the future is still in your hands. Alright? And there's that clock, too. What is the time on this clock? 6:14 or so. Or maybe it's 3:33. And then this clock is 2... I can't tell which hand is which. I think that's the hours. So this clock is 10:10, it looks like. Anyway, regardless, trust divine time. Don't stay in that, don't obsess over any regret. Alright. Suppression. My bad. Express. Don't suppress. Authenticity is freeing. Abso-fucking-lutely. Authenticity is like the most liberating thing ever. When you get to a point where you're like, one thing that helped me is like, I'm a recovering people pleaser. And I used to be like, oh my God, do they like me? And then I grew into who I am and really started trusting myself and healing from everything. And then I'm like, do I even like them? Right? Ew, gross. And then I got to this point of being like, doesn't matter if we like each other or not. I know I'm not for everyone. Everyone's not for me. While I'm in space with people, I can be kosher, you know, like we can like whatevs. But ultimately, I'm going to take that space. And I've curated an entire reality in which it does not matter what anyone thinks about me at all. And that has not been my reality. And I'm 37 and I'm finally really stepping into this within the past 6 months. I mean, it's been a progression, but there were a lot of people who were still in my life who were doing this to me and I was allowing it, right? And then I was constantly going through these cycles of being like fucked over by the same motherfucking people over and over, and continually thinking like, no, why do I still have love for these people when they like honestly hate me and don't want to see me do well? And then I had a really big, like monumental, I overcame smoking. I quit smoking, and it was the last step of my healing. Like, it was something that I held on to so tightly because I was silencing my own truth because of these people around me, right? All that to say is, don't suppress yourself. Remember, you're not for everyone, and everyone's not for you. And the people, as you come into consciousness and alignment with your truth and go your own fucking, you can go your own way. The universe will provide the people in your path. And you can even do that intentionally before you leave the house. Be like, I would really like to just, ask the universe to provide certain earth angels for you. And part of that process of having your third eye open is recognizing that when the universe does provide that. I have an example really quick of that. Fear, face your darkness, the only way to find a guiding light. Exactly. Don't let fear stop you. Don't be afraid of anything either. Fear is false evidence of proving real. But anyway, we live in this small town, and we don't usually go out of the house at night. And we were going to go to the trunk or treating at the high school, and we did. And I didn't realize it was going to be like everybody and their fucking family from everywhere in Arizona. It was so many people, and I've never been around that many people in this town. And I was like, oh my God, LA, bleh, ew. But we went to the very back of the line. I literally only know a handful of fucking people in this town, right? Because we stay to ourselves. And the very last people, so then we became the last people. It was a guy that we had met at a restaurant one time, and he was super friendly, and his wife was super nice. And so they were talking to us, and they were being really nice, and their kids were really cool to Nile. And then more people were coming, and we weren't the back of the line anymore. And then like a few people back was this guy who was helping me with my car a lot when we lived on our land. And so I was like sandwiched in between these two masculines that like I've met and feel cool with, right? Like, just, they're good guys. And the universe provided that safe space. And then we left anyway because, we were like, yeah, this isn't for us. It was taking a really long time. And I was like, why are we here? Let's go home. So anyway, all that to say is like, that's a sign. And it wasn't until like I noticed while we were there that I was like, oh, okay, right on. And then it was like, literally, those were like the only people I knew there at all. And they were like within my area, and so that's the kind of thing I mean is like, when you are awakening, ask for that support to be shown to you outside of yourself, right? And this card is showing me, this is a higher self activation. I already put these cards in the box, but this one was like peeking out. So don't let yourself stay in fear, right? And don't let anyone control you, but ask for that support outside of yourself, and you will receive it, right? I don't even think I asked for that, but universe knew I was going to need something. Apathy, ignite your passion, for it's the antidote for indifference. Apathy is awful. Tap into your empathy instead. Caring about yourself first is cool, but caring about others is also really dope, right? Kindness is super fucking sexy. Don't do too much of this. Be apathetic to others. Because ultimately we want unity, right? We want to transcend ourselves into harmony and balance and unity with what we're supposed to be with, right? All right, that's enough. I will let you go. Obscurity, the unknown. In the unknown, there's room for endless possibilities. Yeah. Just think of life as like a choose your own adventure, right? You get to choose how you're going to feel. You get to choose. I mean, you don't always get to choose who's around you. But like I said, if you ask the universe to make that nice, it will happen. But you get to choose your attitude. You get to choose a lot of things. Hopefully. I hope you do. But I also remember, this is a prison planet and we are enslaved by these systems. But the planet doesn't even want that for us either. All right. Have a good one.